G'day mates, in today's video we've got a lot to talk about. We have the almost $3 million land series being announced today. We have $750,000 of prizing going into Dreamhack that is now a qualifier for the $2 million Gamers8 Saudi land. But there is one main reason why a lot of pros are very upset. I'm also going to talk about Creative 2.0 or UEFN launching tomorrow and what you can expect and why it is going to change not only Fortnite but gaming in general. Also, a lot of you guys are confused about when the official tournaments are starting back up. Do you need Contenders Division? Do you need Champs Division? I'm going to answer all of that in today's video. Let's just jump into it. Let's kick off with the big news for competitive Fortnite, the almost $3 million land series that just got announced by Dreamhack and Gamers8. So there are now 3 Dreamhack qualifiers, each with a $250,000 prize pool. The top 10 teams from each of these are going to qualify for the $2 million land event in Saudi Arabia for Gamers8. That makes 30 teams, and I'm guessing the next 20 teams are probably going to be invited for the big names like Clicks or Mr. Savage if they don't go and qualify. Now, anyone can play in these qualifiers. They are Dreamhack, so they are going to be LAN events. You're going to have to buy a ticket and go to the actual in-person event. We have San Diego, April 7th to 9th, which is in like 2 weeks. We have Dallas, which is June 2nd to 4th. And then we have Dreamhack Summer, which is in Jönköping, Sweden for the EU players from June 16th to 18th. With an almost $3 million prize pool, we are going to be having pros travel from around the world to go to these qualifiers to then go to the LAN event. But why are people so upset? It's because all of these tournaments, including the LAN events, are going to be no builds. I'm not entirely sure what prompted this because Dreamhack and Gamers8 last year were all build events. Gamers8, the LAN event, did have a half no build component, but it still did have a build component, and all of the Dreamhack tournaments also had half build and no build components. So it being entirely no builds for an almost $3 million prize pool has quite a few people upset, but also has a part of the community really excited. We could see some new faces go to these LAN events to qualify and make a name for themselves on the big stage. I'm actually going to be going to hopefully all of these events and live streaming them from the event. I'm going to take my streaming backpack. I'm going to do viewing parties with some kind of interview IRL content as well, so keep an eye out for that. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments. Are you happy it's no builds or are you sad? Next up, we have one of the biggest things that's ever happened to not only Fortnite, but gaming in general, and I'm not exaggerating that. We have UEFN or Creative 2.0 going live tomorrow. And in case you've missed that or you don't know what it means exactly, basically it's going to be open access for people to go in and use all of the assets that you have within Unreal Engine to make not only your own version of Fortnite, but you can make your own game entirely. There's going to be abilities to import different assets, and you can literally make anything. So a lot of people are super excited for the potential that has for Fortnite. We have creators like Cypher PK talking about using their team to make a version of Fortnite that's by the community for the community, taking feedback and making the best version of Fortnite that people want. If you ever thought you could do a better job of making Fortnite, well, now's your chance. It's not going to be as easy as just jumping into a creative map and dragging things around. You're going to need a pretty extensive knowledge of coding, but there are already big groups in the community and people making big plans to pretty much revolutionize Fortnite. We could get to a point where more people play a version of Fortnite than actual Fortnite made itself. We've seen this in the past. Look at what the aspect of GTA RP has had on GTA, or even just look at Roblox, or look at Minecraft. This is so much bigger than that. You can now add all the crazy things to Fortnite you've always wanted and change the game entirely. I'm actually going to be doing a stream tomorrow, hopefully looking at some of the crazy maps that come out or just some of the cool things we can do with this. Unfortunately, we don't actually know exactly what time it's launching tomorrow, and we don't even know how you're going to launch it. We don't know if you're going to be able to load into these maps or these versions of the game through Fortnite, or whether you're going to have to download an entirely different launcher or version of the game to play it. We know console is going to have access to play it, but they're not going to be able to make their own things in UEFN, so we don't exactly know how it's going to work, but tomorrow is going to be a very big day for Fortnite, and I'm here for it. We just had the Champions Console Cup, which I would say was a massive success for the console community, and now we have the PlayStation Cup for March being announced with a $230,000 prize pool. You got to remember the Console Champions Cup, which is basically the biggest console tournament of the season, the Console FNCS, only has a $250,000 prize pool. This is only $20,000 less than that. So if you guys want to play, the way it's going to work is there's qualifiers on March 24th and 25th. The top 50 from each qualifier are going to play in the finals on March 26th. Now, it is solos yet again. I have no clue why PlayStation and Sony love running this as a solo event so much. There are obviously always massive competitive integrity issues. If you've seen any of the clips or watched any of the streams, it's almost comical how badly people team in these events, but I guess Sony's just going for the overall player base, and they know more people can play if it's solos. At least it's not no builds, which is when it gets really, really bad, but I'm hoping with this big prize pool, we might see maybe a higher level of competitive integrity. A bunch of pros had just bought consoles to play in the Console Champions Cup, and I'm guessing if they were smart, a lot of them would have bought PlayStation 5s so they can have that double dip of the prize pool. So I'm expecting these games to be super stacked, and there's actually a very good chance I will watch at least the finals on my stream. I had a really good time watching the Console Champions Cup last week. A lot of you guys have been asking me what's going on with tournaments. Why haven't we had any official tournaments in the game yet? I honestly don't know. With no preseason, and I believe Cash Cup's only taking Contender Division unless they change that, 2,000 points would not be too difficult to get to start tournaments pretty early in the season. But unfortunately, our first major builds tournament is going to be on March 31st. That's when the Duo Cash Cups are going to kick off, and then we have the Solo Victory Cups kicking off on April 2nd, as well as the Zero Builds Trios Victory Cup. Now, I have a feeling those are both going to run at the same time. We haven't got the exact timings of them yet. We've only gotten the Duo Cash Cup in the Compete tab. Now, like I said, I believe these are only going to take Contender Division. It's only FNCS that needs Champs Division. If you open up the Compete tab, you have over 2,000 points, and the Duo Cash Cup is still locked for you. Do not panic. It's like that for what I've seen almost everyone. So I believe you'll only need to Contender Division, but if you're willing to risk it, it might be worth maybe getting Champs Division just in case. You're gonna need it for FNCS, which is right around the corner though. We have FNCS kicking off on April 13th, which means we only have 2 weeks of Duo Cash Cups before FNCS kicks off. I don't know why Epic has such a big break in the tournaments right now. I'm guessing maybe it's because they're playing around with these new zones and these new Storm Surge changes, which a lot of people in the community are hoping they're gonna change pretty soon before the tournaments kick off. You know the deal. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'll see you in the next one.